Hello everyone, my name is Kieran from Red Devil Weekly and welcome to the first weekly debate on the channel. Before we get into it, please leave a like and also subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. But the weekly debate was going to be a weekly series, obviously, where we just kind of, take a trending topic in football and, give it a Manchester United context and have a bit of a debate about it. And, I give my perspective and you guys give yours perspective as well. And hopefully on other shows we'll have guests on and, maybe having two guests debating against each other in the future. We'll see how this goes. But this is obviously the kind of pilot episode. So if you do enjoy this sort of thing, make sure to let me know in the comment section below. But as you can see, the hashtag TWD. Make sure if you want to have your say on Twitter, not even just in the live chat, but if you're watching this as a video and you want to continue the debate on social media with your social media followers, use the hashtag TWD and have your say on the topic in the stream. And today's topic is a Manchester United 11 in the Premier League era. Who gets into a Manchester United 11 from the Premier League era? Now, I'll explain why I'm doing this. Obviously, yesterday on Monday Night Football, if you guys watched, Garry, Neville and Jamie Carragher composed a list of the top 10 English club sides of all time. So they did it without the restrictions of the Premier League era. This was English club sides of all time, which, I thought the list was pretty fair in my opinion. They ranked Manchester United's 2006 to 2019 as the best. Well, in the Premier League era, it ranked the highest out of all the teams. It was second on the all-time list. So I think the Liverpool team of the early 70s. And they were dominant. And to be fair, I can't really argue too much with that, just trying to censor myself there. But that United team, which is the United team I first kind of started watching, was ranked the highest Premier League team out of all of them in the Premier League era. So you could argue that really that's showing that with the kind of standards and with the kind of criteria they set out, that was the team that ranked the highest in the Premier League era. So I thought, with that being said, what would be my Manchester United all-time Premier League team, all-time 11 for the Premier League era? So, of course, the Premier League started in 1992 season, and obviously it comes to present. So you can already see it on the screen there, but I'm just going to be going through each one, explaining my rationale, if you like, for each pick, and then you guys in the live chat or in the in the comment section or even on Twitter, as you said, using the hashtag TWD, can keep the debate rolling and give me your thoughts on my picks. You can slander me all you want, honestly. Any opinion's valid. There's no wrong answer. So, yeah, please do. Welcome, man like Mo. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. And also, Mo, thanks for joining as well. Really appreciate it, guys. As I said, if you do like this format, please do let me know in the live chat or you're in the comment section below if you're watching as a video. So, I'm going to get straight in my picks. Peter Schmeichel is the first one in goal. Now, first of all, I want to say that you guys will know, as you can tell, I'm not exactly the oldest person doing this. I haven't been watching Manchester United throughout the Premier League era. I started supporting Manchester United my first Man United game I watched was in 2007. So the first team I really knew was that 2006 to 2019. And it was a hell of a team. And that's why a lot of the players in this team are from that era, are from that team. So obviously I didn't actually get to see Peter Schmeichel play in his prime. I didn't really get to see him play for Manchester United at all because he retired before I started watching football, which is unfortunate because he was a hell of a goalkeeper. But 5 Premier League titles between 1992 and 1999. He retired, obviously, in the treble-winning season. The only Manchester United goalkeeper to win Premier League Player of the Season. I mean, for a goalkeeper to win Premier League Player of the Season is unheard of, really. When was the last time you saw a goalkeeper win that award? It's a mental stat, really. So for him to have actually got a Premier League Player of the Season award is fantastic. And just a testament to how good he was as a goalkeeper. For me, it was a toss-up between him and Edwin van der Sar. Van der Sar's won one less Premier League title, but he has also broken records himself, clean sheet records in the Premier League. He has won a Golden Glove. Peter Schmeichel has not won a Golden Glove. But for me, Peter Schmeichel has to go in there. But as I said, there's going to be a lot of honourable mentions in this team as well. So a lot of people who missed out on this team who realistically could have been in. Mo says tough when Bex doesn't make the team. Van Nistelrooy instead of Cole. Interesting. I'll get onto them when I get onto those forward players. But I think that there are, again, some people who, some picks which there's going to be honourable mentions. As I said, there's going to be people who definitely could have made it in. I mean, we're so lucky as Manchester United fans to have this such a rich history at the club of amazing players. So I'm sure there's going to be loads of people that people think, oh, how is he not in there, or how is this player not in there? So keep them coming, At right back, I've gone with Gary Neville. Now Gary Neville is again a Manchester United legend. Multiple Premier League titles, and has been there from youth. He came obviously from the class of '92, a club legend. Never left Manchester United. Never had any interest in leaving Manchester United as well. And just a fantastic, kind of, I don't know how you describe it, but just a fantastic ambassador for what the club's about, really. And even after his career, the way he kind of carried himself, and the way his punditry and stuff has just been top notch. Can't say more about the guy, really. As I said, just to get the proper stats up here, 5, 6, 8 Premier League titles. 8 Premier League titles. And again, it was a bit of a toss-up between him and Dennis Irwin as well, who again was a player I wasn't able to see. I've seen the highlights and clips of him, and of what I've been told by people who were able to watch him. They said he was an absolutely magnificent player. For me, Gary Neville gets in the team purely because, as I said, I think both of them get in the team. But I just think, the way he kind of carried himself, the way he was there from the class of '92. He's just one of the almost like the founding fathers of this Premier League era. One of the players that epitomizes what Manchester United were in this Premier League era, and he was part of two, great teams, two of the great teams of Manchester United history, the '99 team and also the 2006 or 2009 team as well. He's part of those two teams, so it'd be hard not to not to include him. Welcome, Fergie and I. Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. Man like Mo says, Ed Woodward said he would keep faith in Ollie. What's your thoughts? Well, as I said, just a quick side note on that. Obviously, it seems like Solskjaer probably is going to be back towards the end of the season and maybe afterwards. So we'll see how that goes. But I think he'll stay. I think Solskjaer will stay to the end of the season. And maybe that shows us they're not actually thinking about recruiting a new manager. But on with the list. Obviously, 2 centre-backs, Ferdinand and Vidic. Well, they're just an absolute colossus of a partnership. Probably, in my opinion, the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League era. 2 contrasting styles, but 2 styles that contrast each other, but also just reflect each other perfectly, and they work in tandem really well. Obviously, Rio was very much the ball-playing centre-back, the person who was able to take the ball out from defence and make the passes and connect the defence to the midfield. And Vidic was the enforcer, who was someone who always liked to have a battle with a player, and was incredible at it. And that is why they've won the amount of Premier League titles they have, and that's why that was probably one of the main reasons why we were so successful in that period, because as Sir Alex Ferguson said himself, attack wins you football matches, but defences win you titles. And to have Ferdinand and Vidic next to each other in that defence, as well as Patrice Evra, my next pick, on the left-hand side of the defence as well, again, another left back, someone who even after his days of playing for Manchester United has remained, so passionate about the club. Even when we're not doing so well, you can tell how passionate he is about, Manchester United, continuing to strive for greatness and, getting back to where we once were. And again, his numbers don't lie. His numbers do not lie at all. None of these players in this team, their numbers lie. Again, there's some other options you could have put in there, but I just think, again, he was part of that great side, the 2006-2009 side, which was voted by Monday Night Football, Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, as the best team. If you look at how they compiled the list, it would be the best team within the Premier League era, although maybe they might have some different credentials for that if they were to do that again. But yeah, he's won, obviously, 5 Premier League titles. What can you say? He's a fantastic servant for this football club. Red Devil shooters, I'd have Van Nistelrooy over Cole too. There you go. Well, thanks for joining. And I mean, it seems like Van Nistelrooy over Cole is a popular one. It's a popular opinion. So as I said, I'll explain my reasoning behind that when we do get to him. So as you can see on the formation, it's a bit all over the place. It's not like a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. It's a bit all over the place. But it's just some players that need to be included, and one of them is, in my opinion, the greatest midfielder of our generation, Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes, for me, could not miss out on this team. I mean, again, one of the players from the class of '92. You know, the amount of Premier Leagues he's won is just mental. It's absolutely mental. What he did for us throughout his career. Again, like Gary Neville, another one-club man. Only played for Manchester United. Only had interest for playing for Manchester United, and the way he made us tick was ridiculous. You know, his range of passing, his intelligence to kind of have a map of the pitch wherever he was on the pitch, and have a map and just, you know, play the passes. Do what midfielders aspire to be. Every midfielder aspires to be Paul Scholes, and when you leave that sort of legacy, you know how much of an impact you've had. Again, you know, he's won everything that can be won in the game of football. 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, 11 Premier League trophies as well for him. What can you say? What more can you say about Paul Scholes? I mean, every single team was trying to stop him. Every team, even the greatest teams, the Barcelonas, the Real Madrids, every team was looking to stop Paul Scholes, and that's why he deserved to be in this team. Roy Keane, one of the players who wasn't, at Manchester United the whole time, but an enforcer, someone who, you know, again, had so much passion for the game and was so important. And obviously now he's kind of known for his opinions, and a lot of people who didn't watch Roy Keane will just know him as a bit of a grumpy git, to be honest. But actually, the way he played football was again, you know, was just to be marvelled at, really. You know, obviously he played from about, he came from Leeds initially, and, you know, he played from the 1993 to 2006 in Manchester United colours, and again, an absolute servant to the football club, someone who, you know, whilst he didn't make a lot of friends along the way, had a lot of success. And at the end of the day, when you look back at your career, obviously you'd like to have both, but, you know, he had a relentless streak for winning and passionate and being passionate on the field. And yes, obviously he made some stupid mistakes. He made some bad challenges. He, you know, but you can't deny the passion, the dedication he had for the team. You know, to win the Premier League 7 times as well in his career is, you know, can't be sniffed at. Cannot be sniffed at all. So yeah, for me, Roy Keane gets in this team. A few obviously notable absences. Michael Carragher as well, for me, was very underrated in the Premier League era for Manchester United, and very underrated within this side. And it's, you know, we've had a lot of great centre midfielders, but I think Scholes and Keane, those two, would get into any all-time 11 in the world. I think, really, I mean, obviously that doesn't make too much sense, but you know what I mean? Like, at the time, they would get into pretty much any team in the world when they played. I mean, Paul Scholes, even to nearly up until when he retired, probably would have got into any team in the world. So for me, those two, definitely. Then, number 11, Ryan Giggs. Mr. Premier League himself, someone who's been there every single Premier League season, scored in every single Premier League season that he played in. A true Premier League legend. You know, played from the start, started in 1992 and played in until he retired. Played in every single Premier League season up to his retirement. So ultimately, it speaks for itself. I don't need to say much. I don't really need to justify that one too much, considering I think everyone would have Ryan Giggs in their 11. Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, he wasn't at Manchester United for as long as most of these other players were. And some people might say that Ronaldo doesn't get into this 11. But without Cristiano Ronaldo in that 2006-2009 team, absolutely nowhere. They wouldn't be anywhere. They'd probably be challenging for the Premier League, but there's no way we would have won the league and the Champions League and been so successful. There's no way. Cristiano Ronaldo at that point in time was the best player on the planet, won the Ballon d'Or, one of the only players in Manchester United history to win the Ballon d'Or, and obviously has gone on to win, 4 or 5 more, in his career. And the fact that we took him from Sporting Lisbon and we made him into the player that he is, the Galactico that he is now, and the years that he gave us. I mean, even the 2008-2009 season, he wasn't meant to be a Manchester United player. He meant to go over to Real Madrid. And the fact he stayed on, gave us 1 more year. Obviously, he didn't win the Golden Boot, and he was obviously famously very annoyed about that. But what can you say? Cristiano Ronaldo was a sensational player, someone that we haven't seen before, really, at Old Trafford. Eric Cantona, of course, another famous number 7 that I'd have David Beckham before Cristiano Ronaldo, but he was arguably the best number 7 we've ever had at the club. Arguably, again, that's a massive argument. That will rage on. I think that debate will never be ended. Who is the best number 7 at Manchester United? But Cristiano Ronaldo, scoring. I think he scored. In the 2007-8 season, he scored 42 goals in all competitions, something which I don't think any United player since has got close to. And it just shows. And, him with Rooney and Tevez in that front three, probably one of the best front threes of all time, really. Unstoppable in that season. So he has to be in for me. And then up front, Wayne Rooney, Manchester United's all-time leading goal scorer. Second in the Premier League list of all-time leading goal scorers as well. Again, that just speaks for itself. You can't really not have Wayne Rooney in this team if you're talking about the Premier League era. Again, obviously, you guys have mentioned it. Let's see if we can get the comments up. But yeah, obviously, we've got Mo here saying Van Nistelrooy instead of Cole, of course. Red Doll Studio saying the same thing, Van Nistelrooy over Cole. And yes, I am using Streamlabs, mate. And what I did was basically I edited the image so that this side, so where my face is transparent, and then this obviously was just the image. So I made the part of the image that I wanted to appear on the screen transparent, and no, the part of the image that I didn't want to appear on the screen transparent, and then obviously because it's transparent, it doesn't show up. So obviously it's like it just shows my face in the end of the day. Mo says Di Maria undoubtedly Man United's best number 7. Wow. I mean, all that. I mean, you guys have seen on Twitter the comments from the PSG goalkeeper. I couldn't care less, to be honest. I could not care less. So yeah, Wayne Rooney, of course, has to be up there, number 10. Greatest goal scorer in Manchester United history statistically. And then the contentious one, I think this will be the most contentious out of all of the picks, Andrew Cole as my other striker. Now, I'm just going to get the stats up for you guys, but obviously he's one of the all-time leading goal scorers in Premier League history, not just Manchester United history. Van Nistelrooy, of course, was an absolute sniper, an absolute marksman. Played at Manchester United between 1994 and 2002. He was able to win 5 Premier League titles with Manchester United in his time here. And there's no doubt that his partnership between himself and Dwight Yorke was one of the main reasons why we won the treble in '99. And, it's such a dynamic duo between those two. It is so important for us. And I think this one is debatable. It is very, very debatable. In terms of a team, I think Rooney and Cole up front together would be such an amazing partnership to have. But again, this one is, I think there's going to be a lot of debate over this. I think obviously Van Nistelrooy you could have in there as well. So it's really kind of a tear-up between those two. You can argue potentially Carlos Tevez being part of that team. He might get into there. You could put Dwight Yorke in there potentially. Again, loads of different options, but this is just my thoughts on a Manchester United Premier League era 11. But let me know your guys' thoughts. That's what I want. I want you guys to debate this in the comment section below, and also on Twitter using the hashtag TWD as well, if you want to continue that with your followers on Twitter, because I'll be very interested to read what everyone's teams and read what they thought about my picks as well. And yeah, on the weekly debate, obviously it's a weekly series, so hopefully next week we'll have a different debate topic, and maybe even get some guests on to debate against each other, or I'll be debating against somebody else. Who knows? But hopefully we'll get some really interesting and dynamic conversations going on this show. But anyway, that is my Manchester United Premier League team. I think if you put that up against any Premier League team in any season, I think that comes out on top. I think all of those players in their prime, absolutely unstoppable. Let me know your thoughts, as I said, in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new, nearing 800 subscribers. So if you can help us out with that, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a bit.